Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We're playing in the hardcore solo server Legacy League as an Ice Shot Deadeye. And today you find me in a place that is not my hideout. We're not gonna run a map today. Today we're gonna run King Kaom's Dream. And the reason for that is that, well, map drop RNG has not really been too kind for me. I keep trying to run the maps that are adjacent to the maps I want. I want to unlock the maps on the way to the Hydra. That seems like a nice goal to go for. No, Hydra's an archer. I'm an archer. It's a nice match. But no matter how many times I try to run the things like the mesa or anything in this area, I am just not getting the maps I want. So rather than get frustrated about it, I figured let's use this lack of map drops to actually do something that's been long overdue, and that is to run the Dreams. But before that, I found myself a very nice Kintsugi exquisite leather armor. It's the only way to obtain this is by completing the Deadly Rivalries Prophecies chain. So that's where you will get this Nemesis Rogue Exile, and it has 5 stages of 5 different prophecies that follow each other, and at each stage the Rogue Exile will be enhanced further than in the previous fight. And in the final fight you will fight the Rogue Exile. It will have a Nemesis mod, it will have some rare mods, it will have a Bloodlines on it I think, and it will actually be accompanied by a full pack of other Rogue Exiles. So it's going to be a nice 5 or 6 Rogue Exiles versus you fight. But if you do manage to defeat all of them, you will get yourself your own Kintsugi. This one dropped with 61 life, the max is 80, so I hope I'll get a appropriate orb to try and re-roll that one. But the nice thing about Kintsugi is that you get 20% less damage taken if you have not been hit recently. Given the fact that we're playing an evasion and dodge build, it is very likely that we are not going to be hit recently. So if we do get hit, we take 20% less damage for that. So that is great against getting one shot by something that's off screen. If you do get hit, you get 50% increased evasion, and that's a global modifier because it is a conditional thing. Very useful thing I got reminded of recently. And that means it doesn't only increase the armor of your Kintsugi itself, it's also going to apply to your hat, your gloves, and all other sources of evasion that you've got. I paid a little bit of attention to it, and my 10.4k armor is gonna be just shy of 12,000. So it's roughly less than 2,000 extra armor, which is pretty darn nice nonetheless. So we gave up a little bit of life for it, just under 1,000, or just under 100, not 1,000, just under 100. But in return, we get some one-shot protection, which seems useful. So the old armor, of course, had multiple resists on it. This one only has fire resist, so in that regard we did lose resists. I had to shuffle some other gear around in order to fix my resists, but we are maxed out on all resistances again, but we're not as overcapped as we were before. So elemental weakness is definitely going to be a potentially risky proposition compared to before. On the other hand, this seems like a nice armor to run around with for a while. And especially, I've been trying to just not get hit all that often, not pay more attention to positioning, all those good useful and wise things that you should do if you're playing a build like this. You should not try to get hit, or try to not get hit. And if you're successful at that, then Kintsugi is definitely going to reward you because, well, your hits, the hits you do take will be less powerful. Ooh, Remnant of Corruption. Okay. So in this case, not getting hit also means not getting hit by those cute little Inuit totems. And, well, freezing things that try to murder me definitely helps. So going after Kaom and Deresso is something I probably could have done earlier. I'm currently level 84, getting close to 85. I got over 4,500 life, or actually 4,500 life, not over. Just exactly that. And my damage output is more than enough to take out map bosses done. So going after Kaom and by extension also going after Deresso should be more than doable. Izaro, however, or not Izaro, Malachi, the other dude at the end of a difficulty level. He's a bit of a different story. He's closer to a red map boss in terms of just how much health he's got, instead of a yellow map boss. So my current plan is to just wait with Malachi until I'm closer to red maps, just to make him feel closer in difficulty to the content that I should be regularly playing at that point. And similarly, Izaro is also going to be for once we hit red maps. Well, hit red maps or die trying, of course. Well, on hardcore, that's the unspoken assumption for everything. This is a level 68 area that puts it on par with tier 1 maps. But, well, the boss fights in the later parts of Act 4, they don't really follow the traditional difficulty curve. So, no, they're definitely going to be a bit more challenging than your average tier 1 map boss. That's something I'm still holding hopes for, that with 3.0 that boss challenge level is gonna closer match to the area level. So you will have a better indication when you are gonna be ready for an encounter or not. Because, as I say, Malachi is definitely quite a bit more of a challenge than a tier 3 map boss that level-wise he's equivalent to. Hello there, currency drops. Ooh, chaos orb. I was looking for chaos orbs. Got a crafting recipe somewhere that requires some chaos orbs to turn them into life. So one of the nice fun side effects of Kintsugi is that if you don't get hit, the damage protection is also going to work against damage over time effects, because all the damage you take is going to get reduced, not just the hits. So that is nice for environmental effects like burning ground, desecrated ground, being on fire. Though oftentimes being on fire kind of coincides with getting hit by fire damage. So. Now, slowly but surely we are making our way to the end here. Is there anything in the corner here? Nope, there is not. Let's get out. Also, where was everybody hiding that they keep shooting at me? I can't see them, so let's move forward. Arrows, of course, they fly quite a distance. Actually, this is where we came from. Never mind then. Rakango. Ah, yes, it's this little corner of the map. More purple things. Speaking of purple, I wonder if for 3.0 they're going to use different colors for the new effect, for the new legacy or the new league effect, not legacy effect, league effects. Okay, there's a couple of the saplings still remain. A Congo in the back, that's also not the best proposition. Hello, goodbye. Elemental reflect, sure, we can handle that. If you don't curse it, it's gonna be a lot easier to do it, less backlash. No, I took a bit of time to update my my spreadsheet again with the reflect damage again in different use cases, and oh, the old thing still stands as long as I don't shock rares. I cannot accidentally kill myself. If I make a habit out of shocking rares, then, well, all bets are off. Then eventually it's gonna backfire. One of the nice things is, of course, if you every time you hit something that has reflect, the hit back is actually going to be affected by things like accuracy, evasion, dodge, all those lovely things. So if you take all of those factors into consideration, I currently have a, what was it? About a 40 or so % chance to actually hit myself, somewhere between 40 and 50. Depends a bit on which of my evasion flasks are going to be up. But that, of course, in turn means that I won't always get hit by the reflect. And if you combine that with the instant life leads I've got going, then actually, on average, I'm gonna get ahead. So, of course, there's always the option of a number of unlucky evasion rolls or dodge rolls and things like that, and I might actually get hit. But under more average circumstances where I don't really deal top of the line extreme damage, I will actually be able to sustain myself even against leech mobs. Or even against reflect mobs, or even against reflect maps. So, now if you're gonna play a reflect map, make sure that all foes have the maximum amount of elemental resistance on there. But if you run that and you don't have well, anything that messes with your maximum resists, obviously, then no, drop hatred, pick up purity of ice, and you're gonna be fine. This is not quite the one. 3 rares, sure. +4 chest level, Gems of experience, that's actually useful. At first I disregarded gems of experience, but now I've come to realize that it's actually, experience on gems is pretty valuable. Especially if you get some of those gems that you basically can't buy. Having to level them from level 1, not really great. this case though, we get a level 14 flammability. That is something we could get from Siosa, but if it was an Enlighten or something along those lines, getting those with experience on them is obviously a great thing. Because they require quite some dedicated farming in order to get the XP on them, to actually make them useful. That might actually be a pretty good test to determine whether you're a casual player or a hardcore player. Well, hardcore, whether you're a very serious, dedicated player in terms of time investment. Are you actually able to level up a Enlightened gem from level 1 to level 2 or beyond while simply playing? I'm currently at 1/4 of a level from on the way from actually leveling it from 1 to 2. But of course that's with a couple of hours per week. But that's probably a nice way to just segment players into just how much time you put in, or maybe just how efficient you are with your time. That's also another way of looking at it. Hello, meteor golems. Okay, got a feeling we're getting pretty close, because that's the path back, and after that we're usually there. Okay. Well. So these barbarians here, they're so enraged. They don't even make sense anymore. They just don't even speak a language anymore. All they can do is shout. Yeah. And indeed, the bridge down here is the way forward. Golem was getting quite some punishment. That's one of the things that has remained pretty consistent. They always go for the golem. Though, that might be because they actually have a chance at hitting the golem. That's very possible. Gotta assume that the golem has some advantages in terms of taunting things rather than as compared to myself. Be a very logical explanation, at least, for why they always go after the golem instead of me. Nothing overly special here. This is a bridge, but it is not exactly the bridge I was looking for. Okay. So maybe I'm a little further away from Kaom than I actually thought I was. Okay, maybe I shouldn't get myself completely surrounded. Kind of a bad strategy to get used to. Let's just make a couple of small retreats. Okay, so for a build that completely relies on Evading might be useful to actually have my flasks full.
Yes.
Also useful to simply just empty my pockets. Let's see, what's this one? Reduced mana cost of skills. That's not something I'm gonna use a jewel for. Democratic Prism. Sure, why not? We're in town anyway. Might as well use it.
Who are you?
Who are you? So, after maxing out Ice Shot with 20%, so I started with Fancy Frostbite, then I went to Ice Shot, and now I'm gonna go for Curse on Hit. For the simple fact that it adds 1% increased effect to supported curses. So I figured, no, let's see if we can increase the effect of the freeze on cursed enemies have 20% increased duration. If I spend 20 quality on this, it's gonna be 10% better. So it's gonna be a 22% increased duration. Very tiny, but... Most of the damage related mods, they're only like 0.5% as well. So at this point, wherever you can spend some quality doesn't really matter. But damage is pretty decent. 17.2k tooltip, and that's closer to 60 or 70k actual DPS because we have so much resistance penetration. But for now, let's say hello to the king.
Another hit for my belt.
Okay, we casually freeze him. Okay, getting surrounded by those things, maybe not the greatest idea in the world. On the other hand, Ice Shot is great for dealing with those flaming skulls, because you can effectively just hit all of them with a single shot. And that is the end of King Kaom. I suspect he might have been the very first of his name, but he's now also the last. So, in the interest of giving myself a little bit more time to hopefully get some more high tier maps so we can continue there. Next episode is going to be Duresso. After that, I hope I'll have some maps for you again, just to add a little bit of variety. But for now, I'm going to thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.